Hey guys, Zim here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Eternal Return Black Survival. It's a recently released early access title that has a surprising amount of depth. Now, as some of you may know, I'm an avid Dota 2 player, and I really enjoy playing different Battle Royale games such as Apex Legends. Now guys, if you've played the game, I'd love to hear your opinions on this also, so be sure to drop a comment. So what is Eternal Return? Well, it's self-described as a mix between MOBAs and Battle Royales. This game comes in with a roster of 15 unique characters. Now, these characters are unlocked similar to League of Legends, where you earn points in-game, or you can use a premium currency to get them quicker. Now, if you've played other MOBAs before, you already have a decent understanding of the controls for this game, moving with right-click and using buttons such as WASD and R to control your spells. Along with this, you're going to be creating items to equip, but instead of building them with things such as gold in Dota or League of Legends, you're going to be creating them with scavenged materials. So let's take a look at how the matches play out. So in this game, you're able to play by yourself or with your friends in groups of 2 or 3, and you want to be the last of 18 people on the island alive to win. Now, once you load into a match, you're going to pick a character and choose a starting weapon. Now, each character has a select number of weapons they can use within a match, and these weapons have different strengths and weaknesses, and give your characters an additional ability to use based on what you select. At this point is where the game really starts to differentiate itself from its peers. Once you've selected a weapon, you're either going to choose a build to use, and there are plenty of starter guides to use within the game itself that'll give you easy to follow builds. And what these are basically a mapped out plan of what you want to do. Where do you want to spawn, what locations do you want to hit first, and what items do you need to pick up from each location. These guides are going to add an extreme amount of depth to the game and can dynamically change how you play every match. We'll touch a little bit more on this later in the video as we cover the rest of the game. So as you follow along your build path, collecting items, crafting, and fighting to earn XP, you're going to realize that your character's level isn't just from combat XP. You have masteries that cover everything you do in the game. Crafting armor, your crafting and defense mastery is going to get XP. Kill a bear, your weapon skill will increase, along with defense every time you get hit. Leveling up these masteries is going to be what increases your character's overall level, granting you additional skill points and stat bonuses. Now, as you're looting, you're going to have to make split-second decisions that really make the game a lot of fun. For example, do you feel strong and want to loot an area for yourself? Attack other players and scare them out of your zone. Or perhaps it's later in the game, and materials you need aren't in the zone you're at because they've been overlooted. Well, maybe you're going to diverge into a different weapon this time, and then try to just salvage your game. Or you can also attack other players and then take their gear for yourself. This kind of constant decision-making process has you on your toes, and even when you aren't fighting, looting can feel just as intense, as you're constantly fighting the clock to stay relevant. And guys, even once you're fully geared, you shouldn't be just sitting around camping either, because then you want to stop other players from getting their gear, and then you also want to stop maybe players that have a better late game build from finishing their builds and being stronger than you. Because of this, you're always looking for some objective to attain, whether it's to get stronger or stop others from getting stronger. And once you get these concepts down, there's always something for you to do. Versus other Battle Royale games where maybe they incentivize just hiding for a while. Now, let's take a look at the combat real quick. Now, obviously, if you and your friends plan on being the last ones alive, you're going to have to kill your enemies. Luckily for you, fighting feels responsive and pretty fun. You have access to plenty of skills to use, ultimate attacks to unleash, and you have consumables such as healing items or offensive items such as deployable C4, bombs, traps to use at your discretion. You're going to be seeing telegraphed attacks come in, try to dodge those, attack with your own spells, maybe get people stunned on a wall, things like that. Focusing their healers, there's a lot going on in every fight. And getting into battles with 1 or 2 of your friends is a lot of fun, especially with voice communications. Now, as great as the combat is, sometimes you do get into fights that you just have no chance of winning because of how the gear progression works, where if you are way behind in levels or XP, you're going to get steamrolled if you try to get into a fight. And this can be frustrating to start with, but by learning your timings for your builds, along with how to just more efficiently loot the map, you're going to be having more and more fun. And I should also point out, guys, that there are some balance issues currently in the game. Certain characters are a little bit stronger than others. And right now, it kind of looks like the devs are following a League of Legends style type of balancing where, the new character is just a little bit stronger than the rest of the cast. But hopefully, as this game matures and exits early access, we'll see less and less of these issues. Now, guys, I want to talk about the guides and just kind of like the overall, building different items part of this game again. And I want to touch on this again because that's what I think adds such a huge replayability factor to this game. Creating and using guides with different styles is going to cause you to go to different sections of the map looking for different materials each time. And also gives you a different kind of gameplay every time. Do you want to quickly build an item that can give you an early game advantage? Or perhaps you want to go for the strongest weapons in the game, but now you're stuck with being with a much weaker weapon until you find the rare materials needed to complete it. Now, along with the starter builds, you can choose to import guides from other players and create your own. Now, creating your own build is extremely overwhelming at first, but it becomes really fun if you're into that kind of theory crafting. There are just a huge amount of things to take into consideration, whether it's item timings, material spawn locations, and making sure you don't overload your inventory with too many different parts before you can build them up. And creating a guide that solves all these problems is extremely satisfying. In fact, the huge number of ways you can build and play a character, I believe, is the main shining point of this game and makes it a standout among its peers. Overall, guys, if you're a fan of MOBA and Battle Royale games, this game is definitely a must-try. It may not end up being everyone's cup of tea, but my entire friend group is having a blast learning the many intricacies this game has to offer, and I can't help but give this game a glowing recommendation. Okay everyone, that's going to cover it for this first look. If you've enjoyed this content, be sure to drop a like, and if you want more Eternal Return Black Survival videos, be sure to subscribe for more.